let's get into it. So the topic is, did I choose music or did music choose me? And this is kind of like a chicken or egg situation, right?
Hmm.
Um, Kind of like a destiny versus fate. And it's awesome to be talking to you because you were with us, referring to me and him from like the very beginning.
Right.
And I've never sat and listened to your point of view like all the way through. We've had long, deep conversations, and I've
Hmm.
slept on your couch, and you know what I mean.
Right.
But I haven't truly had to sit down and like just listen to your point of view of how you felt about everything, your participation, your emotions, your feelings, et cetera, et cetera. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, let's get into the topic. So, did I choose
Man,
music or do music choose me? So first, tell me and the audience like how you got into music in the first place.
man. So I'm DJ Wise. How I got into music is just always been around me since a little kid. But getting my first record player from my mom when I was young, um, getting what was it, Crisscross records and Madonna records from her when I was young. Just listen to those in the room. I'm the only boy out of a family full of girls, so that was my go-to. Go in my room, throw on my music. I missed the bus with Crisscross and all that type of stuff and ABC Creation, like I said, and Madonna records and things like that I had as a young kid, man. It's kind of stuck with me over the years. Like it's something that I can go back to and find my identity in music that's kind of, floating away outside of um, the realm of things I was dealing with in life and at home, but just really being able to listen to music and get another feeling from just being alive, man, and listen to that creativity and um, feeling this and the connection when it came to once I started learning about hip hop, just where I lived at, it was a pivotal place when it comes to hip hop almost, and kind of my story, man, just goes from that young kid in Huntersville, VA. Families from there. Pharrell was out there. We talk about Stacey Robinson with the Pearl Mercedes and the Family song. So I was around that environment at a young age. And as I got older, it started being more connecting points because I went to Green Run, still in the same area with Pharrell. I actually live right around the corner from Timberland's Way right now. Um, the Clips are right in the neighborhood with Bridal Creek. So I said it all just connected to me, man, and just really being able to have my place in this culture, but just me really loving the music, loving the people, man, loving the energy that it brought to my life first, and then to the community that was around me. So
So at this particular time when you got into music, you were in Virginia in Huntsville.
yeah, well, I said at a young age, you're living out in Huntersville. That's when I first saw.
Huntersville, I'm
That's how I
sorry.
remember. Yeah, that's when I
Mhm,
first got my first record player when I was living out there. And one
mhm,
of my, one of my good friends' name was Mike, and he had music. So we'll trade tapes. Then we had the Booter Brothers on the radio station. So I would, be listening to radio late night, listening to, the Booter Brothers play music back then. This is
mhm.
like early '90s, almost like really '80s, '88 going up, So yeah, I was out there early, man, just listening and vibing with things. We had in this area, of course, we had the Greek Fest, and we had a lot of other things going on around that time during that era. Um, and I said it's continued to build over and over. Like I said, through the years, as I got older, when I moved to Virginia Beach, one of my good friends was already like in high school, and he was older, so I became his little brother, and
Mhm.
he was also a big hip hop head. The mixtapes and being able to go down to Flavor for You, which was in Norfolk, checking out DJ B way early back then, get to know who he was, grabbing mixtapes, from DJ Envy, the Dirty Harry, to Clue tapes, all type of Ron G, everything, all type of mixtapes. So it's just something that I kind of I say is a part of me, man. So I just continue to grow with it, and just really build on my catalog of music that I had over time. And once I started understanding and study music more, um, just kind of say it stuck with me, man. Like it's really stuck with me. Like just the culture and the passion with it, man. And just the creativity and the people and the vibes and the just meeting different people from all over. You know, living in Virginia, then moving to California with the music, going out there with my mixtapes, all that I had. It was, you know, coming from the East Coast to the West Coast during that time it was like around 95, 96. So during
Mhm.
that era, it was still, you know, it was the East Coast versus West Coast stuff going on, but I was still being able to, you know, bring a lot of flavor that was from Virginia out there to California, and
Mhm.
it was like a big difference because people were still like, "Hey, you from VA?" And I was like, "Yeah." Then it was not New York, so it's like I different. I say, you know, Virginia's for lovers, so I got to love because I was still listening to everything, adopted the West Coast music, and I said continue to grow with it, man. So
So you mentioned West Coast. So at what age range were you in the on the West Coast? You were born on the West Coast too, right?
no, I was born in Virginia. I was born in Virginia, Norfolk. Grew up out in Norfolk in Virginia Beach.
Hmm.
I first went to California when I was 14. I got a taste of California then. Went down to Mexico at a young age, to Tijuana. Was able to get in the clubs down there early, and that changed my whole life. That was like, yo, I got to get back out here. So, so when I turned 16, I moved out there on my own. I moved out there to live with family, um, and that's when I picked up more of the West Coast stuff. You know, what I'm saying, listening to of course Snoop and Dre, but MC8. I lived in the neighborhood around the area where J.O. Felony was at. You know, Mitchie
Hmm.
Slick. You know, those type of people. Um, Yeah, so I was just, you know, and San Diego reminded me of living in Virginia. So it was just still, it was by the water, you know, still kind of a nice area. You know, had its elements of different things going on. But I was able to pick up from Virginia, going right to California and get that same California love, just like I got here in Virginia, with the music and the culture and the people. So,
Mm. So you're out in California. When do you make your way back to Virginia?
um, I was back and forth, you know, while I went out there for basketball, came back, finished high school, went back out there when I was in the military, came back and forth. So I was back and forth a lot, you know, just coming back and forth with family. But I officially moved back here about 2005, I think, around that time. Um, Came back here. But see, my whole thing with growing up was I grew up with turntables, well, a record player in my own room. So once I got older, I was like, the one thing I want to have when I get older is turntables. So
Mm.
I first got my first set of turntables when I was in California. Then I had to leave them behind after I moved back. So once I moved back here to Virginia, I got a little bit more settled. That's when I started picking up. All right, let me get my turntables back. I still had my vinyl and everything, so I was started just picking up when I left off in California when I was back over here, 2005. So yes, I moved back here, man. Then I was working, and that's when I met him around 2007, 2008 time. Um, and he'll tell you the story. You know, it was Black History Month. We was working together in this facility. I was always putting mixtapes together. I was always doing stuff like that. But it's like Black History Month. I always thought of like doing like a dope mixtape for that month. So I put that
Mm.
together and gave it to him. And ever since then, man, it's been my brother. That's how I was able to, you know, get back and get more deep into the music. You know, getting to know you guys, know what you guys were working on during that time. He came out, you know, told me about his project that he had, you know, the Wars One,
Mm.
and started to listen to the message about what you guys have, but I know who you are and everything else. You know, I was featured in my first video with him, and so we just built that connection. Because it was like, man, this is what I want to be doing, and I left it, but I said I left it when I left California, but once I came back here, it
Mm.
just found me. It found me again, you know.
Right. You picked
And
it
then
up.
I just started running with it. Yeah, I picked it up and started running with it much harder. So
So you say you were 9 years old when you got your first like record player?
yeah,
You were
yeah,
nine.
man.
So
Hmm.
how was that feeling? Like when you first got that player? So I mean, music is all around us, right? But when you got that player,
Hmm.
like, how did you feel? And it was a vinyl player, I'm
It
assuming.
was a vinyl, man. Yeah, it was just something new. Like, so I could just go in my room and just escape and just, I said, play those records that my mom is, and she gave me initially. I said some early Madonna stuff, like stuff that's like
Mm-hmm.
disco music. It was still like the 80s, you know. So I was like, but going into the 90s, it was still like, you know, they started coming out with more stuff. So, um, yeah, I started, you know, started digging into the bag of things that I could buy. You know, I always was hustling, making money. So once I was able to go get my own music, I started picking up on things that I like to listen to. I said it was a record player at the top, and of course a tape deck at the bottom. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, we had the tapes and I had the vinyl. And I had the Madonna, and then I had the tape to go along with it. At home, being able to, you know, once you had those tapes, you learn how to dub over them, stuff like that. So I listened to the radio and dub over them with some new music on there, just kind of like rehashing it that way. Um, so I say it's always been a thing, man. I said, then being from here, just being around DJs, I said it was a big thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
with all my friends, I said, going to play with you, listening to mixtapes. DJs were kind of heavy back then. That was the thing. It was like that was to me that was the top element of hip hop.
Right.
As far as the culture was a DJ. I said that's how I learned all the music I learned was from listening to DJs. So um,
Right. Well,
I try to play instruments, you know, but I stuck with DJing, man. So
yeah. So DJing. So with the topic being concerned, you got this player at 9 years old. You was
mhm.
hooked, right?
Right,
So it was something that you liked, but also too, like it's kind of out of your control to be 9 years old.
right.
You got this gift. Who gave it to you?
My mom. I said my
See,
mom gave me the music. Yeah.
immediate family giving you this gift, right?
Hmm.
And you're hooked. Funny enough, my first interaction with music was turntables as well, vinyl.
Hmm.
So I was 3, and I got one of those little kid vinyl turntables. You played a little
Hmm.
small, what five,
Yeah.
6 inch this
Just yeah. Hmm.
the 6 inch vinyls on, and I had a song called Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. I think it's was it Kumo D, I think.
School more D. Yeah. School more D.
Yeah, and I was hooked. I was literally playing it every day, like
Right.
nonstop. And then I had an uncle who was a DJ, turntable
Hmm.
DJ. He DJ all the family functions. He DJ throughout college. He DJ.
Hmm.
My grandmother and grandfather was in the Elks Lodge. I don't know if you ever heard of
Hmm.
that, but a lot of
Yeah.
lot of community functions. So he was the main DJ, right? And I'm 4 or 5 years old, handing him the turntables.
Hmm.
Mm, I'm sorry, the vinyls.
Right.
Mm,
Right.
hmm And so I mean, I'm hooked, right? And so it begs to ask the question, like, you still, you know, arguably speaking, chose music, right?
Right.
Again, back to destiny versus fate. Like the thing
Right.
is, we go back and forth. In the philosophical community, in the religious
Hmm.
community, did you
Hmm.
choose this? This was your choice. How much free
Right.
will do you have? Versus, your immediate environment, family, sharing
Hmm.
this gift with you, sharing this love and passion, because you trace back to anybody who's really into music, you'll find an immediate or close to immediate family member who had an
Hmm.
influence on them
Right.
when it came to
Right.
music, maybe even a music gene. My father
Right.
was
Right.
really into music, my mother danced.
Right.
And so we gravitated towards this thing. But again, it stays with us. So fast forward a little bit, when did you decide, like, hey, look, I really love music to the point where it's more than a passion now. It's something that I'm going to make money with. I am going to at least do part time with, do every day, because as a DJ, you're constantly listening to music,
Hmm.
you're studying the
Hmm.
game. Like what age was that for you?
I think it was like 19, man, when I was able to buy my first turntables. Like I was in the military and in California. It was this guy. He was like, "I'm selling my turntables." I was like, "What?" Give them to me. I think I bought two sets of turntable for less than $500, and that's when it was like it was on. You know, I was able to start doing what I want to do because I said it was so it's always about being able to afford something. So I like if I can afford to do it, I'm gonna do it, and I was able to afford to buy turntables in California. Like I said, being able to take what I had learned from being in Virginia and being from the East Coast, being out there, like okay, now I can. I was able to explore a lot more once I had those turntables in my hand. Like I said
Mhm.
practice, buy vinyl. We didn't have Serato back then, so I was like, I actually had to go out and buy the vinyl, find records, and I actually threw my first party when I was out in California during that time. So. Yeah. So like I did a house party out there, man, and it went well. And I was like, you know what, I can do it, and it just
Mm,
stuck with me, man. I tried to play other instruments, but DJing stuck with me as a core thing that I know, like, because I like the element of the crowd. Like, what is the crowd doing? How's the crowd feeling? How are the people feeling? Are the people vibing? Like, are they having a good time? So
mhm.
knowing what to play, knowing how to play it, knowing when to play it, those are the like some of the things you pick up on as a DJ. Like, you can either party can go one way or the other way. You can turn it all the way up, or it can go all the way down. So
Right.
being able to look at what's being played, look at the vibes going on, look at the people interacting,
Hmm.
then people actually enjoying what you playing. It's just something that I was like, yo, that's a feeling that I like to have. Like, that's
Right.
something personal to me, like making people feel good because I love the music so much. I'm like, I know what I'm playing. Now, if you like it, that's our connection there. That's how we can build. That's how we can,
Hmm.
kind of have a more in depth conversation, through the music that way. So it was
Right.
something that, as far as I won't say party pleasing, but just being with the people, man. Like I said, just really looking at. I remember that. I mean, it was a house party, man. I looked out. I was playing some East Coast stuff. I got a couple of West Coast records.
Hmm.
DJ for about an hour. 'Cause there were other DJs there also, and it just went well. And I was like, man, like, yeah, like, I'm gonna stick with this. Like, it's something that I enjoy doing. Like, I would do
Mm.
it for free.
Right.
Now,
If you could.
like, I do it for free if I can. Yeah, but I've learned
Right.
like you can get paid.
I,
So it's like,
I
all
mean,
right, but
it's a lot of
yeah.
stuff we've done for free when it comes to music. Of course, we have a passion
Mm,
for it. You said two things that really stuck out to me. So first off, you called it an instrument. I love that. So it is
mm,
an instrument. The art of DJing, especially around the time you got into it, it was still
mm,
turntables. It was still a
mm,
high barrier of entry because turntables weren't cheap at all, and
right,
a skill set because you had to know how to use those turntables, how to
right,
have the music never ending because as this song is going, you got a limited amount of time to find the next song,
mm,
put it on, line it up, right? And then
mm,
blend it in with the next song. So,
right,
and as a DJ, I've never personally been an actual true DJ. I've touched DJ
mm,
equipment. I have a passion for music, as you know. I'm a student of the game.
mm,
But back then, more so than today, because today you have playlists. Back then, you might have had the
right,
playlist written down physically,
right.
but you had a minute to get that vinyl on there, line it up,
Yeah,
and do it again. So you was really working nonstop when you working vinyl.
right,
There
right,
really
right.
ain't
And
much of a break.
and that's why I say you have to. I almost can, like, I started hearing music in, like, as like all day with me. Like, I think
Hmm.
I saw some people. I watch my own beat. I watch my own mixtape, so I
Hmm.
can honestly have a whole mix playing in my
Oh,
head
got
already.
it.
Like, I kind of know. I kind of already can hear everything. Like, if I'm not listening to music at all, I know I have songs in my head already. So I'm still mixing stuff, putting stuff together, regardless. Like, and that's something that I said this just stuck with me after I really got deep into, like, listening to music and really going through
Mm,
all the music I could go through. Like I said, not just hip hop, R&B, house, drum and bass, reggae. So I got
right.
exposed to so much good music that is really, over time, I have stuff playing in my head all the time. So I just
Mhm.
hear music. I hear it when it's not playing
Right.
out loud to nobody else. So that playlist is always something that's going on internally in me. So
Got you. So
yeah.
let's fast forward again. So you're DJ, you got your equipment, you're doing house parties, you're doing parties, you're DJing, period. And
Mm-hmm.
you meet him, and then 2 years later, you meet me.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you feel upon everything starting to come together in that moment? Because again, we're getting into music, but we're
Right.
also getting into spirituality, right?
Right. Right. It was put like this. When I met him, he reminded me of a little bit of Karas One, a little bit of Ghostface. So then during that time, I also was on my own kind of spiritual journey, learning reading different books, learning about the Bible, learning about the Quran, reading everything I could to sort of
Hmm.
be more rounded as a person. Um, and talking to him helped me kind of find those find a way through it a little bit, you know, because we share likeness and difference at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We were both um, relatively still young, but still trying to identify ourselves. So what you guys were doing with the music, it helped identify like and really bring clarity into what I was becoming as a man, like learning um, through learning. I said learning through the music a different way. You know,
Mm.
I said, I of course, I said listen to all the older artists we had around us, or that time. I said from Chaos One to Ghostface, right? To Common to to I would say I'll go back to even the Rakim, right? And stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
meeting him kind of be like, it's like, all right, well, this is the message was like something that I can be attached to and somebody that I personally know now. So it was like, this is different. This is new. Like, all right, like I said, I knew people that like music, but I didn't know many people that did music. People that were
Mm.
intentionally making music. So that made our friendship and our bond between all of us kind of like I'm gonna stick with these guys. These guys are real. They want to do it. So it made me
Wow.
really be like, I respect them for doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like really, I say I'm trying to DJ, so it's kind of like these guys are trying to be MC, they're trying to be artists. Like there's something I need to be around, something I want to be around because they actually are doing what the culture is about. They actually are participating in the activities of the culture of hip hop. So it just made me gain more respect and really grow with y'all as much as I wanted to be around as much as I could because it was like this is what I want to do in my life. So
Right.
it just
Y-
yeah.
It's funny you put it that way because you're right. Him kind of mentioned it when we were talking, but
Mhm.
back then it wasn't as many people actually doing music. I
Right.
mean,
Not
again,
at all.
some people have the talent of singing, of rapping,
Hmm.
but today's society, anybody can just pick up the phone, record something,
Right.
boom, put it out there, record content, right? So back then, you're right, it was a lot more limited to find someone who was actively doing music, who was
Hmm.
again making beats, who was DJing.
Hmm.
I just felt like we were kind of spoiled because I went to a high school for music. I went to a college surrounded by
Hmm.
other people who did music. And so it
Hmm.
felt like it was all around me. But really, truly, to hear you say that, it's like eye opening because you're like, wow, somebody else is doing it too.
Right.
I feel like today, you get around people and they be like, I do music. You be like, you too. It's
Nah,
it's
and
it's a lot of more of that feeling now.
right. I
Like
say
I
what
don't
made it
even want to
special
talk to
was
you about it. Right? Go ahead.
right. You know what I'm saying? It was a entry level situation because, like I said, that barrier to get over. Like, are you going to invest in yourself? Are you going to be spending time with this? Are you really going
Mm,
to, put yourself in position to be called an artist or called a
mm,
DJ or called a singer or a producer, whatever? Like, are you really actively doing it? And that
mm,
separated you guys from my other friends. Like, I'm like these are my new set of friends. I'm talking about, but you guys were actually musicians that I was like, I respected it. And I said, the only ones I really knew. Like I said, through him, I met other people. But he was the
mhm.
first person I met when I said, I started really wanted to get back going to DJing. That was like, all right, well, shoot, is the DJ, is the MC? Let's go. So I said, let's make it happen. Like, so,
Right.
yeah, just kind of like it worked out. And I think in all of our favor because I said we were doing something that everybody didn't want to be doing or couldn't do or wasn't really putting themselves in that position that actually the opportunities that come along with doing music. So as I said, I looked at it differently because you guys were really putting yourself out there. And I understood the message. I
Mhm.
understood, now then I saw their ambition and the drive to be doing it, So, and the messages were clear. It was
Mhm.
different. It was really neat. Um, I said,
Right.
I mean, if I compare other artists, I said him was, I said, in between, he was speaking about things that people weren't speaking about too at the same time. And
Right.
then you coming in with your production, I said it was clean, it was clear, it was different but it still like it had this unique VA sound to it. It still had this unique
Mhm.
mixture of this is Uriah. So
Right.
I know Uriah's music now. Like it come up my playlist now. I'm like, oh shit, Uriah. I know who that is. Like so it's kind of like y'all have your own style, and it wasn't about it was about the struggle, but it wasn't the struggle music. It wasn't the
Mm.
not say the glorifying of other things that don't help us at all as people. So
Right.
I respect that 100% because that is a difference.
Right.
Being attached to something that's really real. Especially during that time. So
Yeah. We got someone asking to come up, but look, just for those who are
okay,
watching, so this is a one-on-one conversation because we're filming content as well. But feel free to shoot me a DM and we can chop it up. Like I said, it's been a while, so but yeah, these are one-on-one. Um, true, yeah. But yeah, man. So the thing about it is that you're looking at it from that point of view, right? We are also looking up to you because you're a little bit older. You're big bro. When I
mm,
met you, you got the crib. You know what I mean? We over there.
right,
Friday night, Saturday night, we might be going out to open mic or whatever. We pouring up
right,
some shots. We getting a beer.
right,
You know what I'm
right, right.
saying?
I
Like
mean,
it's
that's
like,
honestly that's. I tell you the truth, that's why I bought a house, man. I was like, when I have my house, when I brought out my crib, man, I was like, this is the place. This is gonna be the music studio. This is gonna be the gallery for to do everything because this is
hmm
kind of like being able to afford doing what I want to do in my life. That's what made it work to me, man. Like really being have the space, to have people over, man, and just create and be creative and have fun together. I said, and then
right.
it's a safe environment at the same time. So
Got you. So look,
yeah,
you're hearing this message, right? We're doing this music. Again, I never really delved into like the spiritual aspect of how you like felt about it. Again, I just kind of feel
mhm,
like back then we were just so militant and gung ho. But on the other
right,
side, we were all friends too. And I can look back and tell how patient people were with me,
hmm
how patient people were with him. But again, talking with him about the whole movement, I feel like we could have committed a lot more to it. I was, to be honest, I wouldn't say I was one step in, one step out. I was gung ho about it. I just didn't want to make
right,
it my whole life concerning the
hmm
music aspect of it
right,
because there was other types of music I wanted to make. You know what I mean? And so, like, how did you see that going? Because I know you were around for those very conversations that we were having about whether or not we wanted to fully commit to being Hebrew Israelite artists. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right, right, right.
Yeah.
Um, I think the when it comes to that aspect of the music, it's something that you were creating for a community of people that identified and actually understood that message. But
hmm
it's a broad enough message that people can learn from. Like I
Mm.
said, even if you study anything else, you can, um, like you're using the music and you're using I said the lyrics to get a message across. So I had no problem myself receiving the message, even though I may have been following a different path.
hmm
I still learned from you guys. I still was like, hey, they actually y'all have intention to teach and educate people through the music a certain way. So
hmm
I think going much further into it, there are things that we all didn't want to do to actually make to the next level if it was compromise anything inside of us internally, right? So I identify with that more than two because like we don't compromise,
Okay.
just like we're gonna be natural with what we do and we're gonna gain what we gain from actually enjoying what we do. So
hmm
I said loving what we do for a certain amount of time or for a certain amount of what our opportunity is,
hmm
that's gonna come with some fortune, but we can control that. So I looked at the same things like I think about we were in control of the situation totally different,
hmm
because we weren't trying to sell out to actually be put on to do anything. We got
Right.
known, got reputation, and got respected based on what we was doing, and people respected that. And
Right.
it feels like so
So
people,
no, I didn't mean to interrupt. You're speaking about the moral compass that we had, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, very strong moral compass. I don't think we would have ever did anything to compromise that part of ourselves,
Right,
which is unique because again, like you said, there's a lot of people that are interested in succeeding in the music industry that when faced with that dilemma, they're willing to give up that part of themselves. which
Right.
we were not. Everything we've done to this day has been independent. Again, you were there even when we got offered opportunities and deals.
Right. Right.
Some that I would say looking back, I would take, others that I wouldn't. But I don't ever
Mhm.
see even the deals that I didn't take that I would have took. They would not have compromised me morally. Looking back at it,
Right.
right? I can see
Right.
that now. But even bigger than that, I just think there was a lack of knowledge, truly,
Mhm.
even around us, of how the music industry really operated.
Worked. Right. Right.
Because
Right.
it's a lot of things that even as an independent artist, if you understood these things, you can navigate that system,
Right.
and you have to
Right.
become a student of the business side of
Right.
things. And I can contest that I didn't truly invest into the business side of things, like
Hmm.
knowledge wise. Of course, we threw
Right.
money at mixtapes, we threw
Money.
money at
Right. Right.
traveling and performing and buying
Right.
clothes and et cetera, et cetera. And that's part of the business too, right?
Right.
But the real business is contracts. It's how to
Hmm.
negotiate.
Right.
What are you actually selling when it comes to music? It took me a while
Right.
until my calling with Grand Prix came along, that I realized, like,
Right.
oh, like, it's really not about the music. It's about the
Right.
merchandise and the ticket sales and you
Right.
know, and even then, it's still difficult. You know what I mean, to navigate that space, because the other thing about music too is that it costs money. It costs money. It costs
Right.
an investment in order to,
Right.
take it. And then each level requires more of an investment.
More money. Right. Right. Right.
And
So,
right. Go ahead.
no, no, so I was gonna say, so I think also during that time, music was changing. Like we really went from CDs to everything being digital and then being DSP. So we like during that time, like it was like to really figure out the business, it was changing. All of it was changing.
Yeah.
Like it was
It
really
was.
changing to a point where it was a blog era that happened in between that too. So it's like to build the right connections, you had to know where things are being put at on the internet to actually get seen a certain way. So I think um, the blog era, like I say, from CDs to the blog era, that was one thing. Then from blog era to the digital side of things, that's when things became more understanding how business worked because you was able to research it more and know more. And I say the books that was out there more still, and you was able to get the information a little bit differently. Um, so I think the business side of things would definitely require more of an investment from us. But I think, like I said, the opportunity to be able to do more music, I think we, or you guys, and I said myself, like our career is based on what we wanted to be based on. I always
Right.
tell him that our resume is our resume, and we've done a lot of stuff that people uh, haven't done, and
That's
then I
deep,
think people
man.
could have done more, So, but the resume speaks for itself. So,
That's deep, because you're right. I feel like you're putting credit back to you're giving more credit back to us. The game was constantly changing. You're right. Like,
yeah.
if you look at how the game was from the 70s to the 80s to the
Hmm.
90s. So okay, so 70s to the 80s, right? So the 80s, more electronic stuff came in, right? People was
Hmm.
able to make beats with an
Hmm.
MPC now, right? Um,
Hmm.
Barrier level of entry to make beats is now like 1,000, maybe 1,500. You
Right.
scrounge with your money, you can make beats. But back then, because so few people were doing it, somebody be like, "Man, I need a beat." It was nothing to kick you a couple $100, maybe even a
Right.
$1,000 for the right beat. Because with the right beat, I can get this into the right hands. That's the 80s.
Hmm.
Now, fast forward into the 90s, it's becoming a little bit more accessible, right? But you're starting to have be able to really, really sell your own product, because now everybody's burning CDs. Now you got the
Hmm.
mixtape. So the mixtape went from
Hmm.
cassette to CDs. Now you can stand on the
Right.
corner and sell CDs like a dope boy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Right.
I knew people who, owned CD shops, and they would have the mixtapes
Right.
in there. The DJs were pressing up their own mixtapes. They were going out and doing shows,
Hmm.
selling their product. So there was a lot more money to be made off
Right.
of an initial investment into music. When
Right.
we got into music, like doing it professionally, in 2008, 2009, we're coming off of MySpace
Hmm.
into the beginnings of Instagram. Facebook is
I mean,
starting to open up to everyone.
I mean to cut
And
you off, but TuneCore, all the DSPs, like TuneCore started around about then. You know, I said like
TuneCore, we was one of the
Apple
first people to
Music,
put our stuff on TuneCore,
right,
2010.
right. They on the iPod. That's when really kind of changed music a little bit, like in its entirety, because it was, I said, it went from one way to another way, right, and right during
Right.
that time frame. So I said, being able to get into music, you had to know. I said, the internet where to place it at and where to be at with the music, because
Absolutely. Like I said, the
you know,
blogs, Tumblr was big. You
hmm
had all these different websites popping up that were blogs, but they've now developed into news outlets,
businesses,
right? And entertainment
right,
outlets. You're 100% right, man, because with the DSPs and with where everything was at that time, it was changing so fast that by the time you figure out one thing, here
it was
comes
something else.
something else, right? I mean,
Hmm.
the fundamental nature of music is always there in the business. You got the DJs, you
Right,
got the radio, you got the internet. But I can tell you right now, I got so much bad advice,
right,
so much bad
right,
advice
right, right,
from
right.
2000, I would say 8 to maybe like
Hmm.
2000, just on and so forth. People
Right,
saying, man, you got to
right.
invest in this. You need to open up for these
Yeah,
acts. Hey, man, you need to
right.
invest in this. Hey, look, you need
Hmm.
contracts for this. I can't tell you how many
Hmm.
times I got burned not having a contract with one person and then deciding to have a
Right,
contract with another. Seriously,
right,
like don't not have that
right. No,
contract, things don't work out. Put the
right.
contract in front of them and things don't work out. Like, nah, I ain't signing no contract, or nah, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? Like the music industry was changing so rapidly that you weren't even really dealing with like business people anymore. I mean, nobody even knew what
Nah.
was going on half the time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they
like
remember
yeah,
what they used to do and give you advice based
right.
on that, and then you
Based on that,
apply
yeah,
it to the new reality of music. And it's like, man, that doesn't apply in the streaming world. That doesn't
right,
apply in the internet world where
right.
everybody's stealing everybody's stuff. And
Hmm.
it's like, hey, look, we need to cross some T's and dot some I's. Well, while you're
Right.
crossing T's and dotting I's, another song is going viral, and they're
Hmm.
figuring the paperwork out after the fact.
Hmm. Right, right,
And
right.
I used to say that over and over again to people. Even to this day, I would tell people, look, if you're gonna do music, paperwork is a back burner to the creativity right now because you don't know what's going to
Hmm.
go, and you don't know
No
if you should
go.
be
Right.
investing all that time into getting paperwork straight for
Hmm.
something that may not be worth your time and effort. And I still get backlash to this day. People saying, "No, that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea." I'm like, listen, I hear what you're saying, but you got to go on Drink Champs. You got to listen to these interviews with these
Yeah.
artists. You got to listen to these guys, and they will tell you the game. Like, hey, look, I didn't know this song was
Right.
gonna go viral. I didn't know this song was gonna work. We hadn't even cleared the paperwork yet. We threw it on the radio. We got sued by them. We had to go to court. We
Right.
let our lawyers handle the case while we're on tour. Like
Right.
like if we would have focused on the paperwork and making sure everything cleared and then it didn't clear and then we had to go back and release something else, the music would have never came out.
Never. Right. And to me, that's why I said, oh, like the organic part of that during that era and that time of things, but people were actually doing what they love to do. Like I said, it was changing, but people were still doing what they love to do. People were still out here operating, being able to make something out of it. Like I say it wasn't a full business behind it at all, but
Mm-hmm.
still able to make something out of it. I said, get your, like I said, get yourself known, get your creativity out there, being
Mm-hmm.
able to connect the right people and and say do what you love doing, minus the business. I think the business, I say once it changed, that definitely hindered some things, but it didn't stop the talent that was already happening. You know what I'm saying? Like the motivations for why you want to be in music. And for me, it's always what I said about DJing. It's like I wanted to be doing it because I love doing it. I can get booked to DJ a gig, but if I can just do it because I love doing it, then I don't mind. Like I said, the business. I said if I blow up as a DJ. But if I don't,
Right.
I love doing what I do. So, um, as I said, we didn't compromise what we was doing, compromise what was going on. You just actually was doing what was natural as far as and we didn't know music was such a product. Like we knew it was. I think the
Mm-hmm.
product can also kind of change things a little bit. It became more of a product, so you had to sell something along with it. You had to
Right.
go into merchandise. So you had to. I think the artist had to adopt many other hats and be an artist at the same time.
Well, probably more so now
So
than back then. Like back then, there was a period where artists were really just artists. If you understood the
mm,
business side of it, then of course, like you can make sure all your paperwork is straight. But back
right,
then, like you didn't have to worry about content. You didn't have to worry about the narrative. Half the time, you didn't have to
mm,
worry about dressing yourself. It was really just more or less
yeah,
making the music and showing up and making sure that you're going to do whatever it is you say you're going to do with the people that were
right.
investing in you, right?
That's the name, right?
Today, ain't nobody investing in you. And in the
Uh,
little bit that they are investing in you, they're waiting to see what
I
you're
know.
going to do because you got to wear all
Right,
the hats
first.
today.
Right,
And that's the
right.
funny thing about technology, right? And change. Like the more technology we have and the faster it's going, the more autonomous we're becoming as individuals. I think back
Mm,
to AI and the effect AI's had on everything. Of course, you got people doing all the other stuff with making music with the AI and all that. I
mm,
don't I don't think there's a much longevity in that. But the
nah.
thing about it is that what is here to stay is the fact that with AI, you gotta not just make the music, you gotta make your cover. You got to come up
Mm-hmm,
with your outfits. You got to shoot your
mm-hmm.
content. You got to, what I'm
Right,
saying, do your own music videos. You got like you pretty much got to do everything. You got to come up with your own
yeah,
narrative. So,
right.
what would take a team of 20 or 30 people is now all in the
Right.
hands of one person, and it's overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah, and that's I think that's the one thing I said we didn't have a team, but we had a team. We had enough people to actually do what we wanted to be doing during
Hmm.
that time and up to now. So um, and I think that's the major thing that changed. Like I said, we people saw what we were doing, people were encouraged what we was doing, people invested their time as much as they could. We didn't have. I said, but we invested in ourselves, so that's what made it a better outcome. And I think that's why we had the clarity we have now. As we got older, we had clarity about I said what we was doing, how we was doing it, and how unique that time was when we was actually operating really fully in music. So
Right.
'cause- yeah, 'cause we still had
No,
big artists around
absolutely.
that time still. So
Well, you remember, so you were the DJ in the 757 group. We had our own DJ. Shout
hmm
out to DJ Truth.
right,
DJ Melly Mel out here with
right,
us, and he was DJing all up and down through Petersburg all the way to Richmond, and you were
hmm
DJing out in the 757, and that was a special time because we were having our music spun in the
right,
club, having our music
right,
spun in the parties. I remember
right.
you were doing certain, I can't remember all the mixes, but you were doing certain mixes where what was it? You was blending, was it you that was blending Who You Are into Power with Kanye?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I remember
yeah,
when you did that. I mean,
yeah,
mind
yeah.
blown. This is 2010, and I mean, you be in the
Right,
party and you will blend Who You Are into Power, and then people are still just dancing.
building it. Right, right, right,
Something else we learned
right.
about the what do you want to what's the one I'm looking for? The psychology of people when it comes to music. When you're presenting new music to
Mm,
them,
right,
um, you don't want to let them know that they're listening to new music because then they cut their
right,
analytical ears on. I
right.
have a funny story about that. So shout out to my boy K. Like, I mean, if he sees this, super dope. One time, he was gonna start playing our music in the club in Richmond. I think it
Mm,
was what's Canal Club. I think it was Canal Club, and
mm.
I'll never forget this day. This had been this fast forward to like 2017. It was my song with Sir Bay Streets. We would call
Okay.
Urian
Yep.
Bay Rock Out.
Yep.
And before he played the song, he's like, "Yo, shout out to my boy, Uriah and Sir Bay. We got this new joint, Rock Out." And he cut the record on
Mm.
crickets because when he said that, everybody stopped
Yeah.
and started
Like, what is
listening
this?
to the record.
Right.
Now,
Right.
mind you, when it was over and done, there was a couple people that liked the record. You could tell.
Mm.
But while the record was playing, nobody danced. Nobody said
Right.
anything. Nobody booed it. Nobody said, "Ooh, this is dope." None of that. They literally just stood there and listened to the record. And nobody
Right.
said a word because they like new record. Their first thought is, all right, I got to hear this. I got to listen to this, see if I like it or not.
Mm. I
right?
think that's one thing that I kind of wanted to bring to the table is being able to blend the music together with everything's already going on because it made
Right,
it much. I said that's what made the mixtapes. That's what made the mixtapes to me the thing. Was being
right,
able to play. I said to have those mixes up and playing to where people actually just continue to vibe out.
right,
And they can
exactly.
find
Now,
music on their own regardless, you know. So
that was the first and last time he made that mistake. He didn't do it again. So the next time he just
right.
blended, he would blend it into. I think he was blending into Two Chains. And
Okay.
as he was blending it in, nobody stopped dancing.
Right.
Nobody stopped to be like, wait a minute, what is this? He blended in. I think it was Two Chains, and he blended it in one time. It was during St. Patty's Day, and he said
Mm-hmm.
we had just missed him by like 2 seconds. We were about to walk in. We had missed Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson
Mm-hmm.
came in to the
Mm-hmm.
party where K Light was DJing at, and when he heard the record, and legit, he came over to K Light and was like, "Yo, who is that? Two Chainz new record? Like, what is that?" Like
Right.
he
Right.
wanted the
Right.
record. He's like, "Yo, that's hot.
Right.
Yo, is that Two Chainz new joint? I gotta look that up." It
Nice.
was
I mean,
Yuri and Bay.
right. I
You
think
know what I'm
that's
saying?
I think I even did that with Brad Moss, Put You Together, and some Lenny Kravitz in the rock and roll mix. People was like, "What is that?" But it's being able to do that with the music that made it, like I said, that unique feeling to where it's like you have it was me, like I said, me being able to DJ, having new music and figuring out how to play it with everything else and mix it again. That's what I was like, yes, like I found people that love the music, people want to make music. So I can explore that way, so I can be creative that way. I can that's what I wanted to add to continue to add to the group, to being
Hmm.
able to go out and do those events and throw those type of
Hmm.
parties where it all just flows together and people just like what is like I said, and people I said they knew what I represented, so they already know where the music coming from. But being able to put it all together in the mix, man, that's one thing that's lacking right now. You can't really go and mix too much of the new music with stuff from the early 2000s, 90s, 80s,
Hmm.
soul samples. You can't. Then that type of happening that much in the music because there's not the same type of elements being made in music right now. So
Music is all over the place to me. I think so with content creation, right? Music has another opportunity to be heard, but you're hearing it in
right,
snippets now. You're hearing it in 5, 10, 15-second snippets.
right,
Sometimes you hear an instrumental go crazy and people use it for 20, 30 seconds. But you'll go and listen to the actual song and it'll be like, nah, this isn't a song that I will listen to. I'm
right,
not saying it's good or bad. Beyond criticizing music, that usefulness of it, you have a lot of people now making music trying to go viral in that way because they'll get
all
paid
the
off of it
time.
if they do, right? So music is kind of all over the
Right,
place. Now, if someone goes viral, might not even mean anything. Back when we were first doing music,
yeah.
going viral was it for you. You went
I
viral with your
mean,
music, you were
right,
out of here. Now you can go viral, get a couple million views on a video, get a couple million views on a song, means nothing. Labels can take a look at you and be like, nah, like I
right,
still can't make money off of that.
right.
You can go viral and
I'm
still not be able to make any real money off your shows because going viral
don't even get no shows. Don't
don't
even
even
get
get any
shows to
shows
go on with.
because again, going back to localities, right? When you are
Mm,
popping in your own city, you can do shows because there's
right,
community built
right,
around your fan base.
right,
You can go viral on
right.
the internet and people from all over the country hear it, but there ain't nobody talking about it.
About him, right. And that's what I'm saying. Like I said, that connectivity that we had in the area, everybody knew who Henry Raya and DJ Wise was.
Mhm. Oh
There was a
yeah,
period where every weekend, if anybody was doing something, they would put together a festival. They would bring down. We was the first ones to bring out the Jet Life crew to here. You know, we brought out
sure
Rash
did.
Cash. We brought out Raekwon. We brought out Ghostface. You know,
Yeah.
so like I said, people I said having that community. So I said we were doing what we wanted to do because our community accepted what we was doing, and they respected. I said the music was. They saw how it worked. And
Hmm.
we all incorporated together. We all worked together in certain capacity to where everybody I said respected what we was doing, and kind of like I said they rock with the crew, So um,
Right.
so that helped our hustle. That helped. I said it helped our. And so that's help. I think help all of us. That's generally in this area, 25/7 and 804. build a connection back then. It was a strong connection, man. People were traveling up and forth. People was doing shows all over. We had a lot
Hmm.
of showcases going on. So I think think about it. We was able to get inducted into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame with Hip Hop, um, yeah, Hall of Fame at William and Mary, based on what we was doing in the area. So
Really?
yeah.
I
William
don't
and
know why
Mary
I knew
has
that, but you're
yeah,
right.
it's called Hip Hop Collections. Yeah, William and Mary has a whole setup to where it's all VA music, and shout out to Intellect, but Intellect and Hen and Kevin Kasanovich, they all kind of was and I was included as a DJ, all was a, kind of put it together, help put it together and get it launched off.
That's
Um,
right.
yeah, I think we had a we had the radio station going before it became popular with podcasting.
Man, I thought about that the minute me and you talked and we were going to do this interview. I'm like, listen, we were so far ahead of the game. You know what's
So
crazy?
far.
What you was doing with the 757, what is it, Seven Cities? The Seven
Yeah,
Cities
17 Legacy
radio
Radio.
show, right? The
Mm-hmm.
only thing missing was a camera.
Well, I mean, we had a camera. It's filming. It's on YouTube. I said we were so ahead of the game that it happened before Drink Champs. It happened before Joe Rogan got popular. It was happening before things started taking off. You
Well, you
know,
got to remember too. So when we were doing it, this was like 2000, what, 11, 2010, 2011?
like it's like 15, 16, 17 on that time.
No, it wasn't that late, was it?
Yeah. It's like it was later on. Yeah, it was like 'cause 2019 is when we got the studio.
I thought it was earlier than that because we would have had the opportunity then. But again, back to the business. So when you look at the Joe Rogans and all of them, when they're doing their podcast, I mean, they're posting clips and clips and clips and clips and
Right,
clips
right,
and
right, right,
clips.
right,
And
right.
so what we've learned now and what pretty much everybody has an idea of is that when you do these interviews like what we're doing now, we pick the best parts of it. I wouldn't even say the best parts, just the parts that we would like to highlight, and
Mm-hmm.
then reel people in with the shorter clips,
Eclipse. Yep.
the slightly longer clips, and then to the main clip. Joe
Mm-hmm.
Rogan and them figured that out,
Yeah.
8, 9
Yeah.
years ago. Because I remember
Right.
they started popping in 2016, 15.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it was right around the same time. I could have sworn
Yeah.
you started doing the seven cities like show before that though, like
I mean, it
2012
was like
or
it was like
2000.
2000. I was like 15, 16, man. Like around that
It
time.
would have been 2015,
Because
16. Okay.
yeah, because I said it was because I remember 'cause I was
You know what? You're right.
35. Yeah.
Because I remember I had a Grand Prix shirt on, so it was
Mm-hmm.
2016. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, kind of ahead of your time, but also too again back to the business thing.
The
There was no
business.
business for it. There
There
was
wasn't
no
business for it
business
at all.
strategy for it. Again,
Right.
business strategy, knowing how to cut those clips up and put them on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
instead of the whole
Right.
interview. We were dropping the whole
Right.
interview. It
Yeah.
needs to be
Yeah.
chopped
You're
up into
dropping
three,
down.
4, 5 minute clips, and you need to
Right.
highlight and then type in, catchy titles to get people to clickbait and
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then the content needs covers and et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, it's
We were just
again,
being really organic. I said that's the
it
whole
was
thing. We was
very
being really
organic.
organic with what we was
Yeah.
doing, man. Like, hey, that's what I said. But that's why I say that. I think I said not community and not where we from. People are gravitated to that. 'Cause we
Hmm.
were um, doing something for our community that was being highlighted and esteemed. So that's the one thing I say. Just doing this for the people that we was working with and this building with during that time. It kind of just helps
Yeah.
keep me motivated, and keep the area motivated, 'cause a lot of people we connected with during that time went on to do great things, Drum, Masego,
Hmm.
um,
Oh yeah.
Steph Love, she's won a Grammy.
Oh
Maria
wow. Okay.
Rosario, she with Voices of Fire with the Pharrell group. So these
Oh
are some of the
really?
people that
Okay.
we was working with back then. That was I said on the scene, and we was interviewing, doing shows with, the open mics with, doing I said putting out mixtapes with, just being involved with. Um, and I said I think it's kind of I said people continue to grow and continue to build. So I look at everything how it happened. It just evolved. I think y'all, the messages you and him had evolved into grind and pray. It evolved into faith, clothing brand. So, um, same message now with product. You know, what I'm saying now with merch. You
Right.
know, so
Right,
um,
and then going so on and so forth. Even with what we're doing right now, I have my
right.
book, The Always Unknown out, and realizing that the message is always still there, and then circling back around to doing these interviews and having these
Hmm.
conversations, and then just a little bit earlier, I was working on a song that I'm about to just start putting out snippets on because I haven't truly dropped anything new
Hmm.
for myself again in a while.
Right.
I've been putting out beats a while ago, but no, you're absolutely right. I mean, your point of view is like shifting a little bit of how I can see it now because of the way you're describing it. How big of a deal it was back then.
I mean,
Um,
think about
it's
this
still
though.
a it's still a huge deal now, huh?
Think about the grind pay society where you had the collective of mixtapes and new artists being put on and trying to
Hmm.
develop that way. I mean, it was a whole thing.
Yeah,
When it came to finding new artists and younger artists, that's what's happening right now, right?
it's still
The
happening
younger,
right
the
now.
younger they are,
Again,
right?
yeah, like, and then just approaching it from a slightly different way. Again, being at this age now, just wanted to, like I said, do it a slightly different way. The internet allows
Hmm.
us to just put things out there now, but you
Right,
still have to build your narrative. But at the end of the day,
right,
man,
right,
I just
right.
love it, and I just love doing it. And honestly, if I had to say, did I choose music or did music choose me? I would say music chose me. I
I would
would
say
ne- I
definitely
would
music. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, no, I say definitely music chose you. I see that in you. Um, I say it found me. Because I
Ah.
said there's. Uh, I think yeah, it found me, man. Like it because I was giving it, and it just I continued to build around it. It just found me. Once I was able
Mm.
to really fully invest in it, I found more of it, and it's I continue to find music now to this day that motivates me and moves me a certain way. So
Mm. Yeah, man, I can't shake it. I've
yeah,
tried. I
I
can't
try to,
shake it.
but I can't. Yeah, I try to, but I don't.
I love music,
But
man.
I know like if I get asked to DJ, I'm gonna
Hmm.
do it. Even though if I haven't DJ the event in a couple of months,
Hmm.
it'll always come up no matter what. I don't go
Right.
looking for it. I just get booked because people know me from being DJ. They know me as DJ Wise, and they'll book
Hmm.
me from past experiences, just knowing how I say I don't know. It's just how it works, man. I don't get asked to get booked, and I continue to get booked, and that's how it always works. Like that's why I say it found me, man. It's just
Yeah.
people know what I love doing and appreciate what I love doing, and that's why I try to show you as much as respect and love back to the people the same way when
Hmm.
I'm DJing because it's like it's they find me, I find them, and we continue to build, continue to build
Yeah,
this thing out.
absolutely. Well, look, I appreciate you coming on here, man. We are approaching up on our 1 hour.
Okay, that
Again,
went
man, if
fast.
you want to shout out to the people, let them know where they can find you.
um, yeah, at DJ Wise on Instagram, DJ WYZE. The first DJ Wise on Instagram. There's others, but there's only one DJ Wise.
It's only
Um,
one.
I got some stuff on. And, of course, you want to check out Hen on Soundboy
Mhm.
Productions, YouTube, and then Digging Sounds YouTube. Type it in, you'll see some stuff on there from the 7C Legacy Radio Show.
Mhm.
And also, I'm also about to start putting out there's a lot of different concerts this year. So I'm putting out a long form concert series of things that I've been releasing over time.
Mm.
Different concerts I've been going to, from the Roots Picnic. I'm about to go out to see Nas and the Roots in LA, the Sergeant Electronica.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, I got a whole bunch of old videos and start putting them out, man. So I'm just gonna trying to put out stuff. Um, and just check me out on Instagram, man. I just be posting stuff there for music.
Mhm.
So
Word, yeah. And look, we're gonna chop it up offline too. But yeah, man, like again, I appreciate you uh,
yes,
with this particular topic. And we're gonna continue to build, man, and get into the philosophy behind things as well. So just like with Hen, I already told Hen, you're gonna have to come back on here, man. It might be a month from
yeah,
now, it might be a couple weeks from now, it might be a couple months from now, but we're gonna keep
yeah.
this
Just let me
conversation
know.
going, man, because people get to hear how things were, how things they are now, see it from a more, mature lens
Right.
and you know see help change people's perspective on things That's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? So this isn't just for me. This is for, for everyone who's willing to watch. So now I appreciate you, man. Again, I'm gonna chop it up with you later. Peace. Enjoy
Yes,
the rest
fam.
of your day,
Yep. Peace, fam.
and
Yes. Shalom.
peace to everyone
Enjoy your
out
day,
there
brother.
watching.
Yes, man.
All right.